Here's your news for January 9th, 2020. We are starting off today by looking at the latest edition of WWE Backstage, as things have been getting pretty heated between CM Punk and The Miz. The beef between the two started back when the WWE on Fox Twitter account posted a video of The Miz after one episode, where he spoke about the episode being the best one ever. In the video, Renee Young says that an appearance by Ember Moon was pretty good, to which Miz responded by saying, "Oh, sorry I didn't change the culture, my bad." This apparently set off the Best in the World, who, after the Fox account tweeted The Miz's quote, said, "Go suck a blood money covered in Saudi Arabia, you dork." It's strange that Punk would use the controversial deal between WWE and Saudi Arabia to insult The Miz, as he was one of the few superstars who objected to appearing at last year's Crown Jewel event and didn't attend. For those of you who remember Punk's backstage debut in November, the former world champion promised to, quote, change the culture, which is apparently what Miz was referring to, which didn't sit well with the Best in the World. There's been no response from the A-lister on Punk's comments, and after several weeks away, Punk will return to Backstage for the January 21st episode. Punk's issues with Miz date back several years, as, on his DVD, the Chicago native took issue with The Miz, the WWE champion at the time, being slotted into the main event of WrestleMania 27 ahead of him. Though Punk is known for never hiding how he feels, this attack on The Miz seems very petty for the former WWE World Champion and could harm the contract he has with Fox if this sort of behavior continues. Whatever Miz's thoughts on Punk's actions may be, both the tweet by Punk and the original tweet by WWE on Fox were deleted, and this clearly isn't a good look for the straight-edge superstar. We are looking at WWE's viewership figures now, and it's no secret that the numbers aren't as high as they once were. While WWE's figures aren't the worst they've ever been, they've gotten pretty close in the past, but that didn't stop the company and the USA Network from boasting about their apparent success throughout 2019. In modern-day viewing, ratings are not necessarily calculated by how many people tune in, but which percentage of the demographic pays attention, though WWE fans are aware of this, and thanks to the internet, have a lot more information on the ratings that WWE doesn't want the fans to see. When the USA Network boasted that they were the #1 cable channel in 2019, WWE said that the combo of USA and Raw was a great tag team, and the fans online couldn't resist dragging the company. On social media, some fans called the company clowns, while others speculated that the ratings would be better with a better creative team, as it seems that these fans aren't in a forgiving mood for the 3-hour show. While WWE might pull a steady rating, but viewership numbers is what a lot of fans think about most when they hear ratings, and WWE have picked their words very carefully to avoid saying anything that isn't true. In the past, WWE has also used loopholes like saying they have a billion social media followers, which is true from a certain point of view if you add together all their various outlets. WWE's wordplay aside, it'll be interesting to see how WWE addresses the ratings in 2020, as changes clearly need to be made. One superstar who knows all about heading the red brand is Edge, but despite his retirement in 2011 and denying making a return to in-ring competition multiple times, there are still some who believe the Rated R superstar will be back in the ring relatively soon. During the latest PW Insider Elite audio, Mike Johnson discussed Edge's current status and revealed that the Canadian has signed a hefty new WWE contract that could indicate Edge returning for more than just a non-wrestling role. He said, "We've been told that Edge signed a new deal. We've been told that it has a very nice upside to it financially, and you have to think it's not just a Legends deal where they have him show up and have him do promos. So I think there's more smoke to the fire with Edge than there is with Paige as we record this." With both the 2020 Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 36 around the corner, having Edge return for either show would be a huge deal for WWE, but obviously his health comes before anything else. Edge's neck injury can be dated all the way back to February 2003, where he had to take a year off, and even after he returned in April 2004, the Ultimate Opportunist knew he was on borrowed time. After going down with another injury in the summer of 2009, Edge would make his shocking return at the 2010 Royal Rumble match, and there's no shortage of fans that would like to see history repeat itself a decade later. At a time where ratings are low and a shocking return could be essential, Edge's comeback could be a big highlight on the road to WrestleMania this year, even if he wants to deny it. We are going from a legend of WWE to the next generation of superstars, as NXT has set up some big-time matches for next week's show on January 15th. As part of the 2020 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the Time Splitters will reunite, as they take on NXT UK's grizzled young veterans. Though he is a part of the Tag Team Classic, fans didn't know who Kushida would be teaming with for the tournament. But on this week's edition of NXT, the Japanese superstar revealed that he would be teaming with his old partner, Alex Shelley. Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne will also hope to qualify for the next round of the tournament, though they'll have a tough journey, as they'll take on former NXT UK Tag Team Champions Mark Andrew and Flash Morgan Webster. On the women's side of things, a Battle Royal will look to determine the next challenger for new NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, and the graphics card includes plenty of big stars, including Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, Dakota Kai, and Io Shirai. We are moving from the ring to the gridiron now, as many fans have been keeping up to date with the relaunch of the XFL, and one person who has been doing just that is future WWE Hall of Famer Batista. On Twitter recently, the Animal gave a mention to the new Football League, and though he didn't comment on the interesting rules the game will have, he did throw some serious shade at the NFL. In a tweet, the Marvel Studios megastar said he knows Vince McMahon is a dog lover, meaning there will be no chance he will give a chance to players who abandon their dogs in the middle of the street. For those of you who don't keep up to date with NFL news, this is seemingly a reference to Tampa Bay Buccaneer Raheem Nunez Roches, who is accused of abandoning his dog by an animal rights group. When McMahon announced the launch of the XFL in January 2018, he also said that there will be no players with criminal backgrounds in the league, and was opposed to players who kneeled during the national anthem as a protest against police brutality, which was started by Colin Kaepernick. It'll be interesting to see who McMahon does get to play in his new league, but for now, the boss seems pretty confident in his new XFL and is no doubt preparing to avoid the same mistakes made in 2001 that ended the original XFL after just one season. And finally today, we're looking at the Wednesday Night War, as for the first time this year, both NXT and AEW Dynamite hosted live 2-hour shows at the same time. With the war back on after a holiday ceasefire, NXT looked to impress in their 2 hours on the USA Network as the show opened up with a 6-woman tag. In the opener, new NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley was able to coexist alongside Toni Storm and Candice LeRae, and picked up the win over NXT UK Champion Kaylee Ray, Bianca Belair, and Io Shirai. In the next match, NXT UK's Imperium got the win over the Forgotten Sons to advance in the first round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, while Austin Theory defeated Joaquin Wilde. In our second Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match of the night, the Undisputed Era defeated Gallus in the first round in an exciting Champions vs. Champions match. In women's division news, Mia Yim was able to defeat Kaden Carter, though both were left reeling by an attack by Chelsea Green, who has been signed to a contract with new manager Robert Stone. In the main event of the show, a huge fatal 4-way to determine the next #1 contender for the NXT North American title saw Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, Cameron Grimes, and Damian Priest all compete for the spot, though it would eventually be won by Lee, who will face champion Roderick Strong in the future. On Dynamite this week, all the talk was on Jon Moxley, as the Lunatic Fringe pulled off an excellent double swerve. After AEW World Champion Chris Jericho gave him a chance to join the Inner Circle, Moxley shocked everyone by accepting the offer, though his heel turn would only last about 5 minutes, as Moxley would proceed to smash a bottle in Jericho's face, reveal his ruse, and state that all he wants from Le Champion is the AEW World title. The Match of the Night award has to go to the Rhodes Brothers taking on the Lucha Brothers, and as you can imagine, this contest was full of great spots. After Cody and Dustin got the pinfall win over the Lucha Brothers, Cody would be asked about MJF's conditions ahead of their match, but it was Arn Anderson who made his voice heard, with Cody not even saying a word. Though Cody didn't say anything, his future opponent MJF did have plenty to say, and after calling Cody some words we're not going to repeat, got confronted by Diamond Dallas Page. After confronting the cocky heel, Paige was able to deliver a diamond cutter to both Blade and the Butcher, but was ultimately overpowered, thanks to a low blow kick from MJF and Wardlow. In Women's Championship action, Chris Statlander finally got her title match against AEW Women's Champion Riho, but this didn't go how Statlander had planned. After interference by Awesome Kong and Melanie Cruz, Riho was able to retain her title, though both her and Statlander were laid out for their troubles. In addition to Adam Page and Kenny Omega defeating Private Party, Jurassic Express defeating Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, and Sammy Guevara defeating Christopher Daniels, this week's edition of Dynamite also saw the debut of a brand new star on the roster, as the Japanese deathmatch legend Dr. Luther made his AEW debut. The fourth member of Brandy Rhodes' Nightmare Collective, Luther did seem imposing on the show, but was taken out by Riho during her title match. On the whole, both shows were very impressive this week, with both AEW and NXT building to major shows in the not-so-distant future. And if we know the war between the two promotions, things are only going to get more intense from here, on the road to both NXT TakeOver Portland and AEW Revolution. Well, that's all the news we have for you today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. If you're looking for more content, you can follow us on Twitter, and as always, thank you for watching.